Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, we are going to just do a little bit of follow-up of what I've decided to take and do with the trough in this floor. So starting off, I want to take and say a huge thank you to everyone who commented. And that means absolutely everyone who commented on what they thought I should do on the concrete here in the shop floor. Some of you had some great ideals. Some of you had some really expensive ideals that I think are just outside of my budget range right now, although I do appreciate those ideals. And some of you, brought up things I just didn't even think about. You know what I mean? So a lot of the things that I did not think about were, what if I could use this as a drain? It's a great way to wash out a shop, this and that, what have you. I didn't even give that a consideration. I just knew that it is a hassle for me to have to keep hopping over this. And I didn't want to get into a situation where creating snag points or things I could trip on. I need to be able to move the equipment in here fairly easily and readily. So that means I need to be able to, wheel stuff around. I don't want to worry about snagging stuff, twisting an ankle, doing things like that. I don't want a hump in the center of my floor. I want this all to be one nice, flat, even surface. So with that being said, I didn't even give it a consideration to actually make this a drain, which is what it originally was. Now, this is a low-lying area around here, but this is not necessarily, get out of the way so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. This does not run all the way throughout the whole building. So this is not for a purpose of draining things. This is where they would have scooped the poop out. Actually, I had a guy stop by, a gentleman from Lindsay from Black Cat Forge. I believe that is the name of his forge. Make sure I know I got his first name right, so that's it. He basically said that this was an old milking barn, most likely, and the cattle would have been in that way, and their rear ends would have been this way, and plop, 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 if you know what I'm saying, without getting too crude, and scoop it right out the door. Makes a lot of sense. I've seen this in hog barns before, and it's usually a little more sloped, but the foo-foo runs downhill, if you know what I'm saying. So, it only goes to one end, and it stops right under the camera right over there. Plus, there's some additional cracks in the floor where they just poured the concrete right around the stalls that would have been in here, and that's just really annoying. There's like a 2x4 missing. That's just a gap to nowhere land. The problem with leaving gaps like that is if you let stuff build up in there, dust, things of that nature, it can actually catch fire and cause problems. If you ever spill oil and it gets down in that crack and all of a sudden you get something in, you're grinding and you get something hot enough to ignite, fuels, anything like that, it can take and propagate through a shop very quickly. So it's better to take and have a nice smooth floor, in my opinion. Now, what am I going to do? Let's get to the point, Roy. What will I be doing with this trough here? So I think the drain is a great ideal. That is something that I'm going to do. I also like the ideal of buying a mixer. I do not know if I can afford getting a mixer right now, but, abstaining that, I will mix it up in a wheelbarrow. Now, I've heard a couple guys make mention, and I might give this a go, getting one of those drills, getting a good 1/2 horsepower drill, which I do have, and like a mixer that you would do like drywall mud with, and just mixing it in 5-gallon buckets and going at it that way. I might go ahead and give that a shot and try it that way. One thing that people had mentioned was acid etching this here as well, which is totally a possibility because I have some muriatic acid, concrete etching and stuff, so I may just go ahead and do that just to give it a good wash. So thank you all for those great ideals. I will test out doing the bucket method. To my experience, I'll have to pour it fairly wet in the concrete if I'm doing it that way, just because with working with Sackcrete, my experience in the past is it hardens up very quickly, and I don't want it to, harden too quickly. With that being said, a lot of people were suggesting rebar and things of that nature. I do not believe that the concrete that's here now is of that great of a grade. In fact, most of it is like I'll pull this out here, really crumbly concrete, okay? So I don't think that putting in it, there's no rebar anywhere in it, so I don't think putting rebar in is probably going to be the way that I go, but I do appreciate those sentiments and thought processes. So I'm going to mix up in either a wheelbarrow, or if I can afford it at the time that I decide to do this, I will mix up in a an actual concrete mixer and just buy one from the old Harbor Freight and go that route, or or rent one. That's always certainly an option. Just depends on how much of this you have. What will I be putting in the center of it? I am going to put in a drain. I think that's a really great ideal. At first I was thinking maybe a trough drain like you've seen sometimes in like public bathrooms or something. You know, they got like a grate, like a little thin grate that goes on. It's about 3 to 4 inches wide and it runs the length of it. I'll either do that, or I will just run some 3-inch PVC with an actual just a floor drain, like a standard floor drain, and I will pipe that in there. And but the rest of it, I'm going to concrete flat and flush. Eventually, I will have to come in here and put in a layer. I'm probably going to do about a 2 to 3 inch layer, probably reinforced with fiber mesh, in on all of this concrete to take and cap it off and get it all off to one level. I won't be able to afford to do that this year or next, but I am kind of in the need of having this aisleway non-dangerous now. So things like that with building processes, as I found with my old workshop, it took years to get it to the point that I had it. It's going to take me years, hopefully not decades, but it's going to probably take me a good number of years to get this workshop exactly the way I want it. And this is the metal side, or the fabrication side of things. So this is all going to be very modern. It'll eventually all be cladded in metal. I will probably insulate this shop here along with the wood shop. And, in order to do all that, you got to trim up there's all this form work and things like that. And I got to haul all my equipment out of this shop that I haven't even got set up yet. So it's just, you're batting a million with a project like this. But that's okay. It's fun to just continue to work on this, and I hope you guys will join me along for this ride. I will do a video on this. It will either be a time-lapse video, something like that, so you guys can kind of see the work progress fastly, or I might just vlog it as I do it. Again, my focus is to get the work done and get it done fast. I am not a concrete specialist, so you have to bear with me. And for you guys out there that have been doing concrete for a really long time, I salute you, and close your eyes. Close your eyes when I get doing concrete work here. You are not dealing with a professional concrete guy. I'm a professional blacksmith. Big difference. So that's it for today. I just want to say big, huge thank you again to everybody who dropped your comments and questions down below. You guys gave me a lot of mental fiber to think about, and I really do appreciate that. And I hope you guys will continue to do that. And just help me along this process. Really greatly appreciate it. So if you like this content, you want to support the content that Jessica and I do here at Christ and Ironworks, please check out our website, blacksmithpdfs.com. It goes a long ways towards paying for concrete and videos, things like that. It really does. If you guys purchase a Power Hammer plan and or ebook, or anything of that nature, that really goes a long way. And if you want to support us freely, a great way of you doing that is just share this video around. Share the video around with your friends, family, or whoever might actually care about this sort of thing. That helps Jessica and I out as well very much. So we do appreciate you. As always, God bless you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.